Brunson the floater. There's the assist for Karl Anthony Towns.
Knicks dodged one there. They did not have a matchup in transition, and Josh Hart goes the other way. Cavs in their first real breakdown off the dribble.
Neither team shooting the ball well early on. Robinson with the steal. Great anticipation. McBride to Bridges. Bridges inside, layup. It's good. He has changed and saved millions of lives. Bridges on the steal. Bridges on the flush. Schroeder guarding Robinson. They played each other last year in the first round when Schroeder's with the Pistons. And Brunson knocks it down. He's got 10 points now.
They're running their offense out at half court. That's how much the Knicks defense is pressuring and pushing them out.
Bridges, Robinson. Mitchell Robinson's come off the bench and made a huge impact already.
And Mitchell Robinson, he's come in the game. He's had a steal. He's helped elevate the...
Strus trying to pressure, some contact. Hart races up the floor, kicks it out Alvarado. Off the bounce, floater's good. Jose Alvarado, the New York City native, acquired midseason. The first field goal for Evan Mobley. Towns cuts inside, layup's good. Schroeder's going to try a three. Can't get it to fall. Just awful three-point shooting from both teams. A spin move from Hart and the banker.
Well north of 60% from the field and showed a little bit of variety to his offense.
Hart drives, left-handed, bangs it home. Josh Hart once again gets to the rim. Brunson telling Hart to go through.
They're trying to attack James Harden. That's what he's looking for.
Drives on Harden, gets inside, kicks it out in the corner. Hart wide open, three-pointer. That one goes down. Mobley gets it in the corner. He tries a three-pointer, side of the backboard. Brunson pushes the other way. Brunson drives, layup, bank shot's good. Donovan Mitchell back in his hometown with 26 points. Schroeder on the drive, gets inside. Clarkson almost got a piece of it. Mitchell wide open, three-pointer.
The Knicks, they are within range. It only takes a couple of shots to put that pressure back on the Cavaliers.
Brunson drives on Wade, scoop layup, it's good. Beautiful shot from Brunson.
This is the best Knicks team that I've seen since my time in the league. Well balanced, well coached.
But still trailing. Brunson banks it home again. Brunson against Harden, almost pokes it away. Shot clock at 10. Brunson drives, pulls up, shot is up, bank shot is good. The Brunson burner has been lit. It's an 8-point game.
Cavs might want a timeout if he scores.
Brunson, three-pointer, puts it in. Captain Clutch has come alive.
An additional defender, and he caps it off with this three, which for me.
Merrill's on him. Brunson gets inside, kicks it out in the corner to Bridges. Shot clock at 4. Bridges looking. Shot clock at 1. Bridges puts up a three, puts it in. It's back to a 4-point game. A 22-4 run. Good defense from Merrill. Brunson drives, kicks it in the corner. Bridges three-pointer, bang.
Adjustment for the Cavs now. They're going to let two hang with Brunson, and they're going to dare go.
Mitchell gets inside, the floater's up. Shot no good, rebound knocked out of bounds. Knicks ball with a minute remaining. Anunoby floats it over to Shamet. Shamet a three-pointer. It's good! Tie game with 44 seconds to go! Back to a 2-point lead. 26 seconds remaining.
Don't want to give up a three.
Brunson with Harden on him. Brunson on the drive, the floater, bank shot. It's good. Picks up Brunson. Brunson brilliant in that fourth quarter. Drives, gets past Harden, gets inside, the floater's up and good. Jalen Brunson once again, and it's a 4-point Knicks lead. Brunson drives on Harden, kicks it out. Anunoby fakes. Anunoby drives, goes inside, stops, banks it home. Brunson cross court. Shamet puts it up, puts it in. A 9-point lead. Timeout Cavs.
And Landry Shamet, 9 big points off the bench, but none bigger than that 3-point shot.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome your Sports Dialogue podcast host Paul Edwards. Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Sports Dialogue. My name is Paul Edwards. I'm your podcast host. I'm here to discuss the NBA playoffs. We have two series. There are the finals in the East, Knicks versus the Cavs, and the finals in the West, Spurs versus OKC. In the East, the Knicks won game one. I'm going to discuss that momentarily. And in the West, the Spurs won game one. So I'm going to start with discussing my thoughts on the New York Knicks versus the Cavs, game one, Madison Square Garden, that took place yesterday. I knew that, first of all, congratulations to the Cavs and also Detroit. I know Detroit didn't advance, but they played a tough series, and the Cavs prevailed, so congratulations to the Cavs. I'm obviously rooting for the New York Knicks, but I'm a basketball fan. I'll be as fair as possible. I'll just call it the way I see it. And I knew that the Knicks, after beating Philadelphia in 4 games straight, they were off a number of days, 9-10 days or so. And for the folks viewing that may not have played sports, in most sports, particularly basketball, football, baseball, most sports, you have to be in a routine. The body gets into a routine, whether you play every other day, every 2 days, and the body remembers. And the body kind of programs itself to do the physical activity at certain intervals. So when a ball club is used to playing every 2-3 days, every other day, and then they don't play for 9 days, the body kind of gets a little bit out of whack. By that, I mean the rest that the body gets is great for the body. There's no question about that. And I'll talk about that a little bit more. But however, when you don't play for nine days and you get back to shooting, it's going to take a little while for the body and the mind to catch back up, to get back into that routine that you were in before you were off for 9 days. So I knew that the Knicks probably, and the way that shows up most often is in shooting and scoring. You can still defend. You'll have a lot of energy. You're rested for 9 days. Bumps and bruises and injuries get healed in 9 days, or certainly improve. So there's a great benefit to being off 9 days for the body. The downside of it is, and I still would prefer to be off the 9 days because the rest of the body is very important. But the downside is it's going to take a little while for the shooting to catch back up. And I wasn't sure, the Knicks going into game one, I wasn't sure how long it would take the Knicks to catch back up with their shooting where they were. I wasn't sure if it would be a quarter, a half, 3/4, or even the whole game. Teams lose game one just from being rusty. So the Knicks came out and they, as I expected, wasn't shooting as well as they could. But to their credit, they brought the intensity level. The intensity level was high since the tip-off of the game, and they showed that in playing tough defense. They drove the ball to the basket. That intensity level I believe, was higher than Cleveland's. Although Cleveland was making shots when the Knicks weren't making shots, I knew that because of the intensity level that I was looking at, I knew that once the Knicks started to make shots, I thought at half the Knicks would win by 20. I did. And I said as much. I said, once they start to make shots, I think they'll win by 20. Lo and behold, they didn't really start to make shots until really heated up until the fourth quarter with Jalen Brunson coming alive, obviously Mr. Bridges, the bench, which we'll talk about shortly. So let's take a look at how they did shooting, scoring-wise. The Knicks, basically, I'll start with OG. Now, OG is going to be fine. That rust of not playing, he scored 13 points. But the issue is that he was 2 for 9, if I'm not mistaken, 2%. So that's the rust, but not to worry. He's gonna do better. There's no question about that. He got 9 shots up, so the body should remember now what his routine is, game-wise, and he'll start to make shots. There's no question about that. Josh Hart, I thought, he always plays with intensity. He had 13 points. But the key, we get back to OG for a minute, but OG found a way to get into double figures. So he had 13 points. So that's, for not shooting well and being in double figures, that says a lot about a player. Josh Hart, he's the heart of the team, I believe. He always brings that intensity level. He shot 45% and scored 13 points. So the Knicks, Karl Anthony Towns shot 42%, and Karl Anthony Towns had 13 points. Now, I want to talk about Mr. Towns a little bit. Very unselfish gentleman. I could see that. Don't know him personally, but I could see, even now he's trying to help the team wherever he can. You see, he's even taken on a facilitator's role where he'll get the ball and he'll try to hit somebody on a back cut into the basket. He's looking and seeking to pass the ball, which says that is an unselfish mindset. And unselfish teams win. Selfish teams generally don't win. So the mindset that he has, I think, is a healthy mindset that I'm going to try to set up other players to score. I do believe, though, my suggestion is Mr. Towns, taper that just a little bit. We need you. My opinion is we as a Knicks fan, the Knicks need you to score. Need Mr. Towns to drive the ball to the basket, very capable of driving the ball to the basket and scoring. And he's certainly capable of hitting that three-point shot. We need you to score, Mr. Towns, and you are extremely capable of scoring. Yes, facilitate, but being the facilitator will bear more fruit if they're worried about you scoring. If they just know that you're going to post up, get the ball, and look to pass it, they're not going to push up on you. They're going to lag back a little bit and try to cut off the passing lanes for people diving. And the problem is that the ball, while you're looking to facilitate, the ball is sticking a little bit. It's not moving. So I would suggest that Mr. Towns, make them pay. Show them that you can score. Put the ball on the floor, take it to the hole like I've seen you do many, many times. And one of the reasons why it's so important this series for Mr. Towns to take the ball to the hole and to hit that three is Allen on Cleveland. A lot of folks don't talk about Allen a lot, but he's a very, very integral part of the Cavs. He rebounds, he defends, and he scores around the rim. Whenever Mitchell drives to the basket, just notice you'll see Allen diving to the basket also. And they have like a little rhythm thing going. And you see oftentimes Mitchell will just hand the ball off to Allen. Allen gets a dunk. He's very, very, very active, Allen. So if he has to defend Mr. Towns, maybe we can get him in some foul trouble and get him off the floor on the bench. So that's why I think Mr. Towns, take it to him like I know you can. Take it to the hole, make him foul you, get the end one, and when it's right, drop the three. So those are my suggestions. I think your mindset is fabulous to want to facilitate. But however, I think it's a little bit more important for you to score. I think you're a key part of the team. As far as moving on from Mr. Cat, I want to get to Mr. Robinson. He's a critical piece of the team. If you watch my episodes, I always talk about playing Cat and Mitchell Robinson together. I think there's a lot of value in that. It said that Cat can defend Mobley on the perimeter and Mitchell Robinson can deal with Allen down low. But Philly has gone to the Hacker Robinson and I don't think Cleveland has sold out to that yet, but they may go there. So my suggestion to Mr. Robinson is you're very important. We need you on the floor. Don't put the pressure on yourself making the foul shots. Sounds weird. Obviously, if you don't make the shots, the coach may take you out of the ballgame. But don't put the pressure on yourself making the shot. Trust your routine. You don't have a bad shot. You have a pretty good foul shot, in my opinion. I would just caution you not to aim it when you are shooting the foul shots. Don't aim it. Just kind of let it spin it off your hand. You do your routine. I see you spinning the ball a little bit. Bend your knees, take a deep breath, and just let it go. And once you let it go, that's it. Don't worry. It's either going to go in or it's not. So don't put too much pressure on yourself. Your technique, I think, is good, and I think that you'll make the foul shots. Take the pressure off of yourself mentally. Only thing that you should do, in my opinion, is work on your routine. Every foul shot, deep breath, bend your knees, let it go. And once don't aim it, just kind of spin it off your hand and let it go. And then even if you shoot an air ball, it don't matter. Just your technique. Make sure that you stick to the technique, that routine. And once you stick to that routine, eventually you'll start to make them. There's no question about it. I don't think you have a bad shot. Just don't put the pressure on yourself. We need you on the floor, Mr. Robinson. Okay, just moving forward. I think Jalen Brunson, he did a great job coming back and making those baskets down the stretch. But I have to give a shout out to Mr. Bridges. I think Mr. Bridges had, if I'm not mistaken, 18 points, and he shot 63% from the floor. So good job, Mr. Bridges. Keep it up. I think you're a 25-point guy each night. I believe so. I've said it all along. I think you're capable of 25 a night and then 40 in an explosion. You're that kind of a player. Always believe that. Congratulations to the bench. I mean, Alvarado came in. He was 2 for 3. And Shamet, he came in and hit some pretty big shots. And I talked about him on episode 9. So Mr. McBride didn't get a shot up, so I'm a little concerned about that. Not that he didn't, I wanted him to get rid of the rust because he's a key part of the team. So even if he missed it, I wanted him to take some shots to get back in. But I don't believe he had any attempts, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, he had 0 attempt. No, he had 1 attempt one shot and he didn't make it. I would have hoped he had taken a few more just to get back in rhythm. But again, I think the Knicks, if they keep that intensity level where they're playing is no joke. They are really, really playing at a high intensity level. And if they combine that with making shots, I don't see how Cleveland win games too. I looked at Cleveland's strategy. They have a very good strategy. Donovan Mitchell, Mobley, Allen, and then when Mitchell rests and takes over, Schroeder comes in. Then you got Spruce, and they have some other shooters. So they have a pretty good system there. They throw different focuses at you. It'll be Mitchell for a while, then it'll be Harden, and then Mobley gets going, then Allen gets a dunk here or there, Bruce drops a three. So they come at you in waves, and then Mitchell comes in when it's closing time to shut the door. So they have a pretty good system going on there, the Cavs do. But the Knicks are playing at such a high intensity level that I believe that I don't see the Cavs winning game 2. I won't go past game 2 because, it's tough in the NBA series. It's game by game, just the way it goes. So I'm not going to go past game 2. I do think that, as you saw the highlights before I came on, Knicks were down and they came back. I think in game 2, I don't think the Knicks are going to go down 20 points. I hope that the intensity level, that's the first thing I'm going to look for, is the intensity level. That means, are you going after loose balls? Are you pushing up on defense? Are you collapsing to rebound? It shouldn't just be one guy on the boards. It should be 3, 4, 5 guys at the boards. Are you running out fast breaking? Are we picking up full court? That's the intensity level that I'm talking about, that the Knicks are playing at a super fantastic intensity level. So my prediction for tomorrow's game, as I said, I do think the Knicks prevail, and we'll go from there. As you may or may not know, I have a book release coming soon, so I'm going to take a minute to share that with you, and then I'll be back to discuss the Spurs. Thank you. The Spurs and OKC. Thank you.
The Truth Plan shows us how to help to eliminate the inequities in affordable housing, unemployment, healthcare, education, the media, small businesses, access to capital, and much more. The Truth Plan also shows us how the elimination of these inequities also benefits the higher income community. The goals and objectives for equity are crucial in addressing the disparities that exist in our society. A primary focus must be on eliminating the racial, wealth, and equity gaps that disproportionately affect low-income and minority communities. This involves a comprehensive approach that includes ensuring access to affordable housing, improving employment opportunities, and enhancing healthcare access for underrepresented groups. By prioritizing these areas, we can create a more equitable foundation for all individuals, regardless of their background or economic status.
The Truth Plan is a self-help plan to eliminate the racial, wealth, and equity gap that exists between the low-income, the middle-income, the Black and brown communities, and the higher-income communities. The Truth Plan believes that all communities should prosper. The success of the Truth Plan will help to eliminate the inequities between the aforementioned communities in the areas of affordable housing, unemployment, healthcare, education, the media, small businesses, access to capital, and more. The higher income communities will also benefit. Prosperity for all. Never settle for less.
Welcome back, everyone. I'm going to show you, next I'm going to discuss the Spurs and OKC. I'm going to show you some highlights of game 1 of the Spurs versus OKC. Then I'm going to talk to you and share my thoughts regarding game 1 and going into game 2.
It has been fits and starts. They've only really played about 8 games in a month. And Penny off on the 3. Jalen Williams off that hamstring injury. Looking none the worse for where blocked by Vassell. Got up high.
Mr. Chaos makes it happen.
Wembanyama rolls to the back.
Oh! Okay.
In one fell swoop.
Yeah, but there wasn't a 7'4" guy there with a wingspan of 10'8". Okay, he's not 10'8", but it looks like it. Easy. This is easy money. Easy money.
3. Wallace off again. They are 5 of 21 from deep.
And Caruso has 4 of those 5.
The play is joined by Vassell for 3. Hassel Pass in the corner, Vassell. Got the three. Huge three by Devin Vassell. Side out San Antonio. Minute 4 into OT. No points. Holmgren headed out. Castle's got a pass. Attacks SGA and throws it down. Spurs got numbers. Holmgren down behind the plate. 5 on 4. Wemby's going to pull a deep three.
Oh my goodness. A logo shot.
28-footer. Ties it at 108. Mason Wallace guarding Castle. Harper guarded by Lynn Caruso. Wimby beat it inside. Threw it down with a foul. Thunder got to go. Gilgeous-Alexander, tough shooting night. Caruso, the star of the night, gets to the basket, reverse with Wemby there to challenge. Holmgren denied by Vassell. Williams inside, can't score. Harper's got it with 40 to go.
So we saw the highlights, and my thoughts on game one, Wimby in the middle is very tough. He's a tough guy. He's not the only player on the team. I mean, they get contributions, as you saw, from many different players. They had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 players in double figures. And that means they're getting contributions from different sources. And then on top of that, you get 41 points from Wimby in the middle. And you saw that jump shot he hit from on their half court at the end of regulation. He can shoot the ball, he can dunk the ball, he can go to the basket, he can defend, he can block shots. So, I just think he just needs to, strengthen his body, which will happen over time. He's still young, but that Spurs team is really, really playing well. And to get that kind of diversity in scoring bodes well for the Spurs. They shot 42.7%, just a little under 43% from the field. And from the three-point line, they shot 30%. So they can improve their percentage somewhat. 42, get it up to about 50, and get the 30% from three-point up to about 40. So there's room for improvement for them. But having 6 players in double figures says that, quite a few people are scoring. Now, OKC, if you take a look at OKC, they had, obviously Williams had 26 points, and Shea had 24 points, and Caruso had 31 points. So there was heavy point production out of those 3 players. But if I'm not mistaken, those 3 players were the only players in double figures. So you had the Spurs with 6 players in double figures, and OKC 3 players in double figures. They need more production out of other players, OKC. They shot 40% from the field, which is a little lower than the 42.7 that the Spurs shot. So both teams can shoot a little bit better. And they shot 37.8% from the three-point line, did OKC, which is better than the 30% that the Spurs shot. So both teams can improve their shooting, but OKC needs to get more production out of other people. I think that it's going to be a very good series. I'm not sure what the Spurs' approach will be tonight, which is May 20th, that game 2 is going to be played. But, if I were in their shoes or coaching, I'd be going to get game 2 in OKC, if I'm the Spurs. I would really want to put OKC down 2-0 because OKC is that good that, if you let them figure things out, they're tough to beat. They're tough to beat even when they don't have things figured out. So they're a very, very, very good team, OKC. But right now, the Spurs, are on a roll, certainly can shoot better. I think, if I were the Spurs, I think this is a critical game for them. It sounds weird because they're on the road. Some people say, well, Paul, they're on the road. They already won 1 on the road. So 1 is good enough. Go back home and win 2 at home. You're up 3-1. No guarantee that you're going to win 2 at home. If you're the Spurs. I mean, you're at home, you have a better chance to win. Oh, for sure. The fans are there. You're sleeping in your own bed, and you're used to the rims at home. But OKC travels. Their game travels with them. So, you're on a roll. Don't know what's going to happen in game 3 and 4. You're in OKC. Don't settle for 1 victory in OKC. That would be my message to the Spurs. If I'm OKC, I think that, the 3 players that I mentioned, they need to do that again, and they need to get some other players scoring. They're a tough defensive team, OKC. They get their hands in. They're very handsy. They get their hands in on the ball. So they're pretty solid defensively, and they go with the 2 bigs, Hartenstein. So I think that the Spurs should try to get game 2. If they get game, because OKC is that good. So I'm going to be watching to see what kind of intensity level the Spurs come out with tonight, whether they're, I don't think they're going to go through the motions, but you can tell whether they're coming to get game 2 or not. So those are my thoughts. I don't like to go too far, as I said earlier, into future games because this NBA playoffs, it's a game by game thing. The tide turns game by game. Teams begin to wear down game by game. So I wouldn't go past game 2. I think the Spurs might get game 2 in OKC, and I certainly think they should go for game 2. So if I were picking, I would pick the Spurs in game 2, and that's still not a gimme because even if they get game 2, you still got to travel back home. And like I said, OKC, they can play on the road. So I just think that it's important for the Spurs to go up 2-0 because OKC is that good. And if I'm OKC, we got to right the ship, get more scoring, and win game 2. So those are my thoughts. I think the Knicks will win game 2, and I think the Spurs will win game 2. And we'll be back with episode 11 to see how things are going later in the series, both in the East and the West. I really want to thank you for taking the time to join me. I enjoy doing this. Make sure you get your exercise in. Exercise is extremely important to stay in good health and just feeling good, feeling really good. I got my exercise in today. I get it in every other day. So I hope that you watch my exercise videos and you join me. You don't have to do what I do, but do something. Move your body. So we'll see you on the next episode of Sports Dialogue. Thank you and God bless you.